Drainage going here real quick. That's the exit music. We need some intro music. Here we go. All right, about there. All right. We're walking through the Novoverse right up there. You can look at the pinned tweets right above and see what the Novoverse is all about. And what it is all about, this is about bringing our friends into the space. And that's what we're going to be doing here today. We have a whole bunch of fun friends in the space going from, we got Barry back on the show. We got Stoner Tribe, but we're going to be starting off with Ian and David from Strange Loop with the bomb, with Spirit Bombs here. And, you know, what we got going on is a whole bunch of cool NFT action. So let's bring in Ian. Ian, how are we doing? We'll do a mic check, live action. How are we doing this welcoming Wednesday? See if we got Ian's voice in here. Ian, can you hear me by chance?
Yo, I got you. Let me get my video going too here.
Yes, there we go. Beautiful.
Yeah, all right. We're live. And I think my co-founder Dave is now backstage. He might be under Megan's account, but he should be backstage if you can pop up here to join us.
Cool. Yeah, we can get him coming up here. Let's see. You got to get this two buttons right here and switch him over here. One of these buttons. So tell us a little bit about the project while we got the co-founder up. Let's see, he's not popping in here. Dave, we got Barry, we got Stoner Tribe. Let's see if we can get him. There we go. Dave, how are we doing? See if we can get his mic working here as we're.
You would have no idea that we were technical folks by the
sound of it, right?
Yeah, that's so often the case. But yeah, definitely down to jump in with some background on the project for sure.
Yeah, so a little background on our project. What I see is right now is you guys are coming up on June 13th, 5 days away from season 1 of minting. And that is always a big time. And, usually I get the people like the night before minting, and they're all like stressed out just because of more of anxiety than anything else, trying to check off those last second boxes. But you guys are building that community through the Discord. The world tour of tunes is going to come through the Spirit Bomb. Tell us a little bit about the project, a little bit about the background too.
Yeah, for sure. So Spirit Bomb is our Genesis series as a studio. Dave and I founded Strange Loop Studios back in 2015, but he and I have been working together since 2012. And part of the reason why touring and music are at the center of our NFT project is because that's what we've been doing together for years. Dave's an insanely talented 3D animator and visual artist, and he and I met making music. And he shoved me out right after college. He shoved me out on the road doing concert visuals for some starting mostly in electronic music, but we've done all sorts of stuff as a studio, and we would go tour. We would create all the content with the musicians, and then go on the road with them. And that grew from a studio, like that grew from just us to a studio of 10 animators, live visual artists, producers, digital creatives of all types. And so when like the first rumbles of the NFT world began like rumbling around digital art, like we took notice because we've been working with animators like Beeple for years. He even made some content for the Flying Lotus show that Dave has been working on since 2008, I think. That's when we started working on Flylo. So
I think
that was kind of our
2007.
entree. Yeah, that was our entree into the scene. And so we'd been looking for like it really like had a strong relationship with the core project that's been our focus for the last few years, which is Spirit Bomb, which is a collective of completely fictional 3D characters that we designed as a studio. And we always wanted them to be like run and all the music and visuals created by a collective. So watching the communities and culture around Web3 that were often very like deeply rooted in creativity and coming together to create something bigger than ourselves, it was like, it felt like perfect timing and a lot of cosmic alignment that's what led to this first drop.
And that's what it is that alignment, and then also friendship built in with that. I'm hearing like, you guys going back a long way. And Dave, welcome. Mike is on. We're working.
Yo.
With you here. Yes. Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. Anyone who's tuning in right now or watching right now, you can go right up on the top on the pinned tweet, and you can actually watch this live. I know it's Spaces, but you can actually like tune out of Spaces, but tune into my actually a live Twitter handle and actually watch this live. But Dave, you guys, have that audio visual sense going on in the space, something that I'm trying to achieve. And you guys are mixing it with music. What a perfect marriage between music, the audio visual blend,
Yeah, that's really what we wanted to see with Spirit Bomb as well, because we've been working with musicians for so long, creating kind of, a visual identity around them, working on their live shows. And we love the collaborative process, especially when it was kind of like, I don't know, when we were really meeting eye to eye and building something together versus just being like throwing out a project like, okay, here's a gig. We've got to just put together some content in 2 weeks before Coachella or whatever it is. When there's more of the kind of collaborative element, that really like inspired us. And so we wanted to make something with Spirit Bomb that was actually like, kind of putting musicians and visual artists on the same, like, in the same footing and allowing them all to contribute to these characters that could really be like vessels for visual art and music and storytelling. And then you can have like the character can go out and tour and have this whole kind of like life in the digital space. And it's not so much like, okay, it's just a visual identity like thrown on top of a musician or vice versa. It's like, everyone coming together to form this like being that can have, crazy superpowers, because you've got a whole community that's actually working towards making that being a success.
And that's what it is, success built in that community. I'm looking at the record label right now for decentralized virtual beings, and it is cool because it does have the character set up. It does have the visual environment around it, the story traits, and then obviously one of the largest components is obviously the music behind it. Can you talk a little bit about like where the music's derived from? Is it like other artists that are musicians? Is it derivatives? Is it generative based? A little bit about the music behind it.
Yeah, so most of the music we've done has been it's not been AI based. It's been real musicians who we know and love, who've been excited about the project and have been, sending us beats, like talking to us about the character, and usually it's not like just one musician on one character. It's kind of like this composite of lots of different musicians. So we've been lucky to collaborate so far with musicians like Huxley Ann and Flying Lotus and Mr. Carmack and Too Fresh, like a lot of really, really cool musicians that we'd worked with a bit in the past. In the case of Flying Lotus, we've worked with them for more than a decade. But yeah, so it's been kind of cool to like, make this medium for those musicians to sort of express themselves in a different kind of way. And maybe Ian, you'd have more to say about that side of the process, but so far it's been real musicians, and we just want to like expand that into a community of musicians, not just people that you might have heard of, but like even novice producers that might be really talented.
Yeah, I think David hit the nail on the head. It's like we kind of, a lot of these conversations, like he mentioned, they like started in our studio when we were working with artists on their tour, and they'd come through, and often they were looking at the projects we were working on, which included these characters that you're sharing, and it really just started with us dreaming up the characters. Like a lot of these were early sketches that Dave made, like without us knowing what the outputs would be. But one of the early light bulbs was watching people come into the studio and be like, "Oh my God!" Like even people with really successful projects would be like, "I would love to make music for this character." And often the angle was like, I'm a successful musician who would love to experiment, but I've got a certain brand that is what people expect from me under this project. Launching a side project is kind of it's an undertaking. Like you have to create a whole new brand identity. You got to like build that fan base. A lot of the stuff that we wanted to do with our characters. So that was like the early insight was like, this could be a heat shield for established artists to experiment. And then that kind of grew into like, if we're already building these platforms of characters, then it could also be a platform for up and coming artists who like, it's very difficult to cut through the media ecosystem these days. So like if we can kind of be the visual component, and a lot of up and coming artists who maybe aren't great at making visual content and are having trouble having their music found because they don't stand out on Instagram, like this is an easy way for them to contribute, low risk, high reward way of getting your music out into the world.
Just getting anything out in the world. Thank you, Racing Punks, for tuning in. They're trying to get their race cars out in the world. Very similar to getting the musicians that you guys love out into the world. And it's mixing. It seems like there's a lot of education behind it that you guys aren't scratching the surface on in this conversation, because you're probably bringing these musicians into the Web3 world, where now is a new medium. You might have heard or watched them as a fan in the crowd. And then now is your chance as the equal to bring them into this Web 3.0 world to stretch the boundaries of what entertainment is, and it will become, because I've seen it.
Yeah, it's definitely feels like we're engaging in a new medium. It doesn't feel like we're just creating music or just creating visuals. It feels like there's all these other kinds of things that emerge when you're working on a virtual artist that you don't think about. Like for one of the learnings that we had is, and why part of storytelling is so fundamental, is because it's hard with like the community that we're building. We want to be able to contribute visual art and contribute music to the character. And that's like part of the, like one of the reasons to buy into the community, so that you can access all of the different, incredible resources on our team, people who've been in the industry forever, and then also work with them collaboratively. But we found that it was really hard to give people a starting place without having some deep lore about the character. Like, what are its motivations? Why does it want to make music? What kind of music would it make? Like, it's really hard to just get a group of people together, even with our credentials, and be like, just start making art. Like, you've really got to have some motivation behind it. So that's why, we're still trying to leave room for the community to help guide the future of the character, but we had to make some decisions about what each character's core values were, why they wanted to make music, what some of their history was. And Dave pulled on like a lot of like archetypes, and both from like Carl Jung, Joseph Campbell, to kind of give us a starting point, but also make it broad enough so that the community feels like they can make their impact on each character, and that it's not completely prescribed for them beforehand.
Yeah. Sorry. I was just going to say, if you click on the wiki on the website, then you'll see kind of this exhaustive, crazy process we've gone through of like, just imagining all sorts of backstories and different, sort of pieces of this universe that we're building. And so I think it's this funny balance that Ian's talking about, where we don't really want to like say like, okay, definitively this is what we're doing and everyone get behind it. And because that's like, that's an old school project, just like, making a piece of IP and you hope people, vibe with it. In this case, we're kind of like setting up a lot of different possibilities, and then the community is going to be involved in kind of like shaping it over time.
I enjoy seeing what you guys are evolving here, because it's helping other musicians, get in there. It's the great equalizer out there. And then even, man, your guys' website's pretty dope here. I mean, you got Tons
We
of
got
it.
to shout out Gavin on our team, Gav Cloud. He's our web dev, but he's also, like, people don't believe me when I say this, but he is our web dev. He's also the sound designer for any of the content that you see in our Discord, on our characters' TikTok accounts. He does all the sound design. He also does our Solidity programming and contract deployment for like the 1115s that we've sent out. So he's also like a blockchain dev for us now. And he is a classically trained touring pianist who is an incredible artist in his own right. So
You can't make this stuff up.
you really can't, if for no other reason, you get in the Discord just to hear his philosophical and artistic musings, and witness some of the great art he does for us. So he's one of the people that makes me, many people on our team that makes me stoked to just be getting this project out into the world.
Well, let's get this project out in the world. What can people do here in the next 5 days? Because you got a minting going on. Maybe if they're just tuning in right now, because we just had a good half dozen people tune in just about this second. What's the best thing they can do to one, obviously get into Discord? People know that.
Yeah.
But, Discord link right here, navigating the minting. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, totally. So first actions when you get in the Discord, like obviously there's a lot of moving pieces in the project. So we have a pretty well built out FAQ and about us that answers a lot of the main questions. And then we've got a very friendly team in the server that can answer any other questions you have. And because it's such a fundamentally creative based program, you can also select a role to join us on helping build out the Spirit Bomb music side, the visual art side, the lore and the backstory, or help promote and market the project, because that's kind of the four quadrants of any artist these days. You got to have your persona, you got to have your visual aesthetic, you got to have your music, and then you got to have your team to get stuff out into the world. So when you get in the actual server, you can select your role, and then right now in the push up to mint, the real push is about getting the word out, because as is often the case with artists who spend most of our time in our caves making our creations, this is like, it's been a very big learning experience to us to kind of pick our heads up and be like, oh, people are interested in this, like, let's make sure we're doing what we can to spread the word. So it's an all call for creatives of all types to get involved with the project. And we created some fun tools too to kind of give you a little taste of what the drop will be like. In fact, today we dropped a website that I can put in the chat somewhere. You know what? If I send this to you, maybe y'all will be able to pull it up. If you're on desktop, it actually works on mobile as well, but we were able to build in some additional functionality on desktop, which is a way to preview the actual NFTs that we're dropping, and you can make trait recombinations, and it's a little way to build yourself in anticipation of the drop, and also try out, see all the different traits that we've hidden in the project. We're definitely on the side of openness and transparency, and maybe so much so that we just decided to show everybody all the cool stuff that we've spent the last few months designing. And right now it's just a tool to check out the different images that are going to be in the drop and all the different potential combinations of characters. So you can literally, each of these as it loads, and this is just dropped today, so we're building in real time. So loading is a real thing. I think that's
I drew those little 8-bit pixel art pieces by hand.
Yeah. So if you go up to any of the yeah,
it's my major contribution here.
In addition to art directing the entire project.
You can go to each one of the different attributes areas here, and put in what you want. If it's body accessory, the skin, or like the clothing that's on top, the accessories, if it's a deck, if it's a drone, growth, the antenna position. I like that. That's kind of cool.
Yep. So so you can kind of design your own, and you can save your own copy of it to your hard drive. But right now it's not writing to chain or anything. It's not this isn't actually the mint functionality. It's just a kind of fun tool to experiment with. But yeah, this first drop that we're doing is like a super limited. It's only 400 units. It's kind of the core creative community. But we're looking for this tool may have another application in the future. Let's just put it that way. Right now it's just for messing around, but it's one of the reasons it might that having the initial drop will be a cool thing, is because of some of the things that we plan to do with this interface.
Wow, this is pretty neat. I just dropped in the pinned tweets at the top for this spaces. If you can help them out by spreading that word, spread that Spirit Bomb word by retweeting that, because it is almost time. Minting is less than 1 week away. Barry, Stoner Tribe, do you guys have any questions for Spirit Bomb? And that's spiritbomb.ai if you want to get into that website. The website I'm looking at right now is LV. I'll try to drop it in the chat here so everyone can see that. But any questions from you other gentlemen that are tuning in? Let's see. I'm trying to buttons here. There we go.
We're also doing a live poll of favorite traits that people discover. So,
oh wow! I just clicked a new button. I have a little ticker going on the bottom of the screen.
That's great.
I accidentally did that, and look what you guys got. Accidents do happen. Yeah, tech savvy. You know what? It says ticker.
We would have had no idea that was an accident.
Yeah, sure. So there you go. We got some live action. That is just the you can randomize it. You can build there. But you know what? They're trying to get their main website in there right now. Yeah, cool. Let's see. Now I'm interested in that. All right. We're going to transition. There's the main website right there that you can see right there on the bottom. Oh, that's not it. There it is.
There it is.
Look at that. All right. Right there on the bottom. You guys come on and people are revealing. You definitely come back on the show because I want to see what people create and what I want to create with these things and hear the sounds. And, we can get a couple of musicians that have artists that are based behind it as well. I think that'd be really neat.
Yeah, we've been super lucky in that respect to work with some artists that we've known for a long time. Some really gifted producers like Mr. Carmack and Too Fresh and just people who have believed in the project and given their time and just feel like every day very, very, very blessed to have the in addition to our incredible team of visual artists and animators that that we've got such a warm and creative group of musicians around us too. So hopefully we can share some of that art with y'all soon and definitely have fun with the creator over the next few days, because I'm sure some people will stumble over some creations that are going to end up in the very limited first supply. So check it out.
Awesome. Ian, thank you. Hang around if you're busy too, and you got to bounce. I understand. Dave, thanks as well. Spirit Bomb right here.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I just love mixing all the art. I love mixing music behind all that, as you can see in my opening tunes. As I like to play some warp sounds because I like to support artists out there.
Yeah, those we love. We've known those guys for years. A couple of people who were early in that project, and they're some of the people. There's no AI component in our music. Partially because they're just holding that fort down. We want to let them run that, and we'll collab with them down the road. We'll do something with their AI music, our human musicians and virtual characters, and I'm sure we'll cook up some cool stuff down the road.
Nice right up here from Stage Hopper as well. Make sure you're following that Alien Ape and Zombie. But we're going to move on to a different form of NFTs here, and that is of the NFT variety. And Barry Sutton, you are directly related in so many circles with Justin Aversano, Johnny Betancourt, G Money, the same people. Almost a year ago, we were kind of punking around the space, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, it's incredible. I watched your origin story, which I guess was from NFT NYC last year.
Yeah, that's correct.
I listened to that last night, and it was like the same people in my origin story. It's pretty wild.
And that's what it is about community, just like Ian and Dave from Spirit Bombs, we're talking about just prior. It's about building that community, and we each do have a chapter in this, and it's some of us have 1 or 2 pages, some of us have multiple pages, but just from the photography background and standpoint, where Justin Aversano was one of the first people in the NFT space that I interviewed, and was so gracious and open and taught me about other aspects of art that just weren't CryptoPunks and PFP pictures. There's actually photography, and opening me up to a different genre of art that could be displayed in this awesome NFT space, which, you know, we heard with music and how it wraps in with everything. So enough about me, but tell about your origin story. That's what I want to get into.
I'd love to tell you. It's I sort of got into this space with a splash that was totally unintended. I mean, I had this body of work that I had shot in Miami Beach between like 2003 and 2007, and it was a series I had taken over a few years of people on the beach. They were everyone from friends, models, celebrities, waiters, tourists, just sometimes just people I came across on the beach. And this project just sat in a box for years. The contact sheets, the negatives, it was all shot on film. And when I jumped on Clubhouse sometime in, I think, March or April of 2021. And I heard about this thing called NFTs, and it sounded really interesting, but there wasn't a whole lot of photography being talked about. There were a couple of people like John Knopf and Cass Simard, and there were some landscape photographers that were really, really happening. But I didn't really hear anything that was sort of like the kind of genre that I was shooting. So I didn't really know if there was a space for me. So I just kind of listened for a while. And I came across a video, a podcast with Justin Aversano. And he was talking all about his Twin Flames project and his personal story and involvement. And he mentioned this guy named G Money who had helped him get started and bought some of his pieces. And I just kind of took that all in. And I put this idea together that I would launch a collection of these photographs from Miami Beach. And when I put that collection together, I only had about 20 pictures that I was sure I wanted in there. And so put them on a web page, and I went to Twitter and I found Justin's Twitter handle, and I messaged him. And I had messaged a bunch of people like in the space before, and nobody would get back to me. So I didn't really think anything was going to happen. But he got back to me, and he was like, "Hey, sounds cool. Show me some pictures." So I sent him to this webpage. I had like 20 pictures from the collection. And he's like, "Oh, dude, these are amazing. I want one." So he actually picked out one of the pictures. He's like, "I want this who is this girl in this picture?" I was like, "Oh, this is a girl named Danya." He's like, "I want Danya." It's like, "Okay, I got to put her in the collection." So then I thought, okay, this guy, Justin Aversano, who's got this like huge following and, this like hugely successful project, is really interested. I think maybe I have something here. So I went back on Twitter and I was like, you see if I can get a hold of G Money. So I DM'd G Money, and he also got back to me. And he was like, "Dude, that sounds really cool. Let me see the website." And I showed him the pictures. And about 20 minutes later, I think he went back to Justin and said like, "Hey, who is this guy? Like, what? These are really cool." And because I mentioned Justin in my conversation with G Money, and he called me back, and I was like out of town with my wife, and we were like walking around this park up in upstate New York, and G Money's like, "How many pictures are going to be in this collection?" He actually called me, and I said, "I don't know. I think like 50 or like maybe 100. I think like 100." And I only said that because Justin's project got 100. So that's the only thing I really knew. And he said, "Well, how would you feel about me buying 20 of them?"
Wow.
Yeah, dude, I was like, what is happening? I didn't even I was like raced home from, upstate New York to put the collection together. And like I really had the cart before the horse. I had like Justin was talking about it in his Twin Flames Discord. G Money was talking about it with his friends. And I managed to get like 30 pieces up and available on the first day, and they all sold out like immediately. And I couldn't understand what was happening. I was just like, okay, I got to put another 30 or 40 up the next day. And that's what I did. And they all sold out. And then the last 30 went up on the third day, and they all sold out. So it was like, that was my intro to NFTs. It was crazy.
Wow. Like almost, I don't want to say 0 to 100, but like you're there in the moment after your hard work, after years of compiling these images, these photos, these lifestyles, this era, this genre, whatever you explain it. And then it gets accelerated by some of, I believe, the nicest people in the space. Are very fortunate. I'm very fortunate to be friends with them. G Money has one of our filters, as you can see. So it is about helping that community, and a lot of it is what they see behind, more than just the photos. The artist who is behind it, yourself, where you're able to be reached by G on the phone and talked to about. And then, yeah, you didn't know what your collection size was going to be, but G Money's a smart individual and probably wanted to know the rarity of it and see how many of these there were going to be, possibly.
Yeah.
So adjusted accordingly due to supply and demand at that time, where it was a 96 degrees hot topic, and it got you, really accelerated and escalated into this space really fast.
It was just ridiculous. I really had no idea what was going on. All I knew is like my MetaMask was just like filling up with ETH, and I was like, this is like insane. But more than that, it was like this acceptance that was happening from the community of photographers and collectors and people who I didn't know, who were really embracing what I was doing. And I had never really experienced that in my like professional life. Like in the world of like professional photographers, outside of like the Web3 space, nobody shares anything with anybody. It's like if you call up somebody like, hey, dude, that's a great picture. Where did you take that? Crickets, like secrets. You know, if I say like, oh, who's that model, or who's that hair and makeup person who worked with you on that? Nobody wants to share their stuff. So here I was like introduced to this new community where everybody's sharing, everybody's helping each other, everybody's like pulling each other up, lifting each other up. And I was like totally hooked. I'm like, I'm in full stop. And that led me to start talking to some friends about, in the photo community about launching their collections. And I was like, I get on the phone with them and I would just be like gushing about like Web3, NFTs, crypto, and nobody understood a word that I was saying. And and so that kind of led me into putting together this venture called 96 Studio. And with 96 Studio, I'm basically onboarding photographers who, starting with people that I know, but reaching out into the broader photo community for like with photographers who have really great bodies of work and helping them bring their work to the blockchain. So yeah, so that's really what I'm working on now, is try and be more of a community player.
Sounds very similar to our last guest, Spirit Bombs, where you are able to now pass that knowledge on to other photographers in the space, pass it on, like very, very, very similar, like you said, where it was a very tight worded community back in the day in the Web 2.0 of how you pass the information, of possibly where you got different shots or angles for shots or different exposures for shots, where now you're able to hop on. Like you hopped in my Discord, and I actually have an area right on the Discord there. The Discord can be found right on my Twitter handle bio. You're able to share your work right there with other photographers in the space. And that's what it is about, is sharing your work, expressing the work, and able to teach others about it.
Totally. Yeah, totally. It's really amazing what's happening. I mean, I think in the art space, it's just such a renaissance, and there's just so much cooperation and like community love that like no photographer in the space has really ever experienced this outside of NFTs and Web3. So we're all kind of saying the same thing, like, why is everybody being so damn nice? Like it's pretty wild. So yeah, I mean, there's a couple of great stories from the early collection of 96 Degrees in the Shade. I don't know if we have time, but I'm happy to share some of those with you.
Yeah, go for it. Let's look at a story here for sure.
I mean, one of the most fun things was this guy named Mike, who on Twitter, he's Warren himself. He had a couple of I think he's kind of famous because, I don't know, famous, but he's like, minted 10 Bored Apes and never sold one. He has a couple of punks, and he's just like super into the business side of things. He's just a super nice guy, and he expressed like huge interest in my work when I was on the Twin Flames Discord early on. And because I didn't really have a plan, I didn't have like a rollout plan or anything. I was just like posting anything I could, and they were just selling right away. He was having a hard time getting into the collection. So he kept DMing me on Discord, like, dude, when are you gonna launch more pictures? You know, like I'd put up 10 and they'd all sell. And he's like, I'm refreshing my screen like every few seconds. And like every time a new one comes up, like it's getting bought. He's like, it was crazy. So then I said, listen, tomorrow, you know, I'm going to launch another 30. And he's like, well, I'm going to be at this wedding. Maybe I'll bring my laptop. So now he's in Germany. So there was a time difference too, but he DM'd me the next day, and I swear to God, one day I'm going to mint this DM because it's so hilarious. He's like, Barry, I've got my laptop open. I'm at this wedding, but I'm in the parking lot. I'm waiting for you to mint some more pictures for the collection, and I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. He's like, when are you going to load up more pictures?
That's what you call a true degen, where you're sitting there, probably like laptop on, like on the hood of the car, because he's getting internet access right there, and just getting eaten alive, but still reaching out to you, and you're still doing it for everyone. You put the mint out there for everyone to get, you know, have their fair chance at it. And that's all part of the storytelling of it. And Warren himself, 17,000, just about 17,000 followers right there. Yep. Minted 10 Bored Apes, diamond hands, just like you had. Yeah. Let's transition a little bit into what you have going on next with 7 Atmospheres here, which was 10 days ago or so.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for bringing that up. 7 Atmospheres is the latest launch. It's with an Australian photographer named Woody Gooch, who I actually met on Instagram in 2015. And I swear he must have been like 16 years old or 17 years old. And I was just blown away by his work. And I was trying to set up an IRL show in New York. And that never really happened, but we stayed in touch. And when after 96 Degrees in the Shade, I got in touch with him and was like, dude, we need to launch like a collection of your work in this space. And it took us a few months to edit the collection down, but his work is just so prolific. I mean, he's a guy that like lives in the water. He, you know, is like a surfer.
These look like shots no one ever will ever get, you know, like.
Yeah, exactly. He's really in it. He's, you know, a guy who's just like obsessed with nature. This collection is 100 pictures taken in 7 different countries. The pictures are from Japan, New Zealand, Morocco, Australia, the United States, Mexico. I might be leaving one out. But it's a worldwide collection, mostly beach related stuff, some really beautiful landscapes, some pictures from his work with this motorcycle brand called Deus. And those were all shot, like the motorcycle shots, those were all done when he was like 15, 16. So there's like just an incredible collection. I mean, this guy's like just full on like into the earth and Mother Nature, and just like working the land, working the ocean. And, you know, his work really, really, really spoke to me. And we're about 50% sold out. I mean, I think pretty fair in this, in this crazy market, what's happening. So yeah, I'm just really excited about this collection.
I would say that's awesome. I mean, getting new exposure of other people out there. And you're saying just like, man, you are right on these views and these pictures, you know, halfway across the world, stuff that you'll probably never see, those angles, those waves, those actions again. Man, yeah. Some of this stuff is huge. Look at that.
Yeah, it was just amazing work. I was so blown away with every one of his pictures on Instagram. I was like, one of these days I've got to do a show with this guy. And, was just like, it was just a lot of, luck and persistence and just being real and just, really appreciating what this guy was doing. And I don't know if he's in the space. I'm just going to check my phone to see if he's in the Twitter space right now. I don't know if he's up here.
No, a lot of people, sometimes they tune out because they tune in and they actually watch the live stream. If they actually bump out of here and then tweet, if you see up on the top. We also have good day, friends. Good day, friends. 96 Studios is proud to share the Extraordinary 7 Atmospheres right there, Genesis Collection. So that's also in the pinned tweet and the top of this Spaces.
Cool, thank you. I do see Alpha Trilogy, who's in the audience. I'd love to get him up here if he wants to ask a question or talk at all. I don't know how the format is, but Alpha Trilogy
format is an open mic, open air, open everything. Stoner Chop, I just want to do a mic check because we haven't heard from you. Any questions for Barry here? And as we get another couple things questioned off, maybe we get Alpha up here.
No questions at all. Yeah, I was having some mic issues. It was glitching a lot, but I think he got figured out. But no, nothing on my side.
Yeah, perfectly. I hear you loud and clear. We're gonna see if maybe Alpha Trilogy wants to come up to speak, ask a question about some of this wonderful, beautiful photography that we have here. Want to thank everyone for listening right now, having some new followers tuning in right now, then everyone watching the Spaces live that are all pinned up at the top. And that's an important part of these spaces for me, is to be able to show off these things. This Mondays, I love these Mondays, double bird. Are they giving each other the double birds picture?
Yep. Imagine if our Mondays were like that.
Horrible Monday. It looks like all you have to worry about is putting the sunscreen on there. Alpha Trilogy, you can unmute your mic at any time and join the conversation. Would love to hear from you, and welcome.
Hey, thank you guys. Glad to be here. Super excited just to talk to Barry, and I love the 7 Atmospheres collection. It's incredible. So I love all of Woody's work, and I love all of Barry's work. So just tuned in to hear what was going on.
Well, we can tune in and we can also watch and see these beautiful photos. And, that's what I've seen through photographers in the NFT space. Like Barry had mentioned other ones prior with like Justin Aversano, is where now they're able to take, years of their hard work, or maybe areas that they've been their entire life where they've been able to gain that inspiration, maybe like this very piece right here, and, go back there and capture it in a different way, in a different format, in a different time of year, because it will tell different story every time you take that picture. It's something a little bit different.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's what I love about these collections, is that like there's a story behind every one of these photos, and it would be great to get Woody on here. I wish we could have brought him on, but he'll tell you the story of every single one of those photos, and a lot of them are pretty awesome. I mean, getting stuck in thunder showers in the middle of the ocean, getting attacked by iguanas, and sitting on top of volcanoes. And I mean, there's just so many like really, really cool stories about all of these photos, because with all photography, you're really getting to walk in that photographer's shoes. You're getting to really experience these moments as they were experiencing them. So I think it's just such a wonderful medium in that respect. And and we all love to tell the stories about the photos. I mean, just about every photographer I know who shoots a lot will remember the story behind just about every one of these sort of more interesting photos that they take, and it just it stays with you.
Yeah, sometimes I go silent looking at photos just because it kind of questions, or maybe I want to be there, or it transforms your mindset, and that's just the best part of it. And stuff that we may never see. He might take these things, be able to see this a little bit more often, just because it sounds like he is a water bug and I don't want to call him a beach bum by any terms, but I actually would love to do something like that. And it looks like, Barry, that you've been around the beach a couple times and have had the flip flops with your feet in the sand. So it looks like you related to this within your own passion as well.
Oh, totally. I mean, the 96 degrees in the shade collection was done because, I just had nowhere else to go in Miami Beach except go to the beach. And, I lived there for about 5 years, and every day I'd go down to the beach and just meet people, talk to people. I, slowly got some commercial clients, and instead of renting a studio, I'd say, hey, let's just go down to the beach. So we met all these people and, had experiences with everybody. It was, definitely a part of my life. And, I hope it comes through in the photos. There's no artifice there. It was like, this is what was happening.
Hey, Barry, I was curious about Woody because he does such a good job of capturing like that whole surfer vibe. Does he surf himself?
He does. Yeah, he does. I think actually
the motocross, does he ride?
I don't know if he rides. I think he was, I think the motorcycle pictures were done when he was doing an internship. He was doing a photography internship for Deus Ex Machina. I believe they're in Australia. It's a motocross brand. And they just took him all around the world, basically. And he shot all these, all of those pictures. I think most of those are in Indonesia, but I think he's had experiences with them pretty much all over. But those are really early pictures. I think he might have been 16 or 17 when he did those.
Yeah, they're insane good. I mean, he just captures that spirit and the whole vibe so well. Blows me away.
Yeah, definitely. In that video, there's a video that I've been posting of him, the one that was done by Audi, and there's actually some footage of him surfing in that video.
Oh, that's cool. That video is insane. It's insane good. I think it's that video could be used as an onboarding tool to bring people into Web3 to be able to get some of his pieces, I think.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's it. Electric Eye. Yeah.
So you can go into Barry Sutton's video here, and it's 6 minutes. We'll run a couple minutes of it, but like I can see the simulation with coming into surfing, and then also just like the dunes where motocross is, because those are just places that are close to each other.
I've always wondered where my place is in this world. Perhaps it's here. This wild country. The place that I call home.
You check out the rest of that video. That's awesome. That's pretty sweet. I love that. We're going to have to transition over to our friends over here in Stoner Tribe. Alpha Trilogy, any other questions while we have Barry on here? But then also, I want to have you guys back, and maybe we can get the Aussie up from halfway around the world, and here we go off to another atmosphere.
Let's do it. First, I just want to thank Alpha Trilogy for being such a committed and enthusiastic collector. I believe he has 10 pieces from the collection now. So you are like the G Money of 90. You're like the G Money of 7 Atmospheres.
I love that collection so much, and I actually browse through it almost every day. So I'm sure I'll be picking up some more pieces. I love the collection, and it's crazy because every time I go through, I'll see something. I'll be like, man, this is insane good. And I know I've seen this before, but it's just so sneaky good. How have I not got this piece yet? So, it's an incredible collection. And, I've told you this before, Barry, I think you have like this incredible ability to pick out, obviously your own work And then also with this, what you did with Woody, just, I think, iconic collections that, years from now are going to be collections that people just want to have a piece of. And I love what you're doing with 96 Studio. It's amazing. And yeah, I'm glad to be following along.
Thank you, my friend. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much.
I don't think you're following, you're helping drive the narrative of it. And you're collecting, buying things, and making informative decisions based on things that you enjoy and you like. And that's what's awesome. And that's what's awesome about the space. And then also the connectability that you can do of just hopping on a Spaces right now. And I just pretty much met you, and you're able to connect, with an artist that you enjoy. And then maybe we can get you back on connecting with another artist that you've heavily collected, and we can get some more narrative behind it, because you have questions, and like this one, like right here, I'm like, is that a shark? But then I'm like, it's a surfboard, or is it a surfboard? So like, it's cool to, see what is afloat in this space. So that's awesome. Make sure you're following. I put a pinned tweet up top for 7 Atmospheres as well, which is also connected to 96 Studios. So tassel hats off to you. I don't know how my tassel hat would adapt in 96 degrees if it's in the shade, but you know what? I'll have a surfboard and see what's up. Fall a whole bunch of times, but learn while I'm going, because that looks fun out there.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for having me on and give me the opportunity to talk about all this stuff with you and everybody who's listening. Really, really appreciate it.
Awesome. Anytime. And anytime is time for the Stoner Tribe. Stoner Tribe, how are we doing on this welcoming Wednesday?
Good. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing awesome. I mean, it is hump day, at the end of the hump day. Some people are actually probably waking up and it's already Thursday for them. So it's already the other side of the world. They're talking from the future. Let's talk a little bit about the tribe of 9,420. Go figure.
Well, first of all, thank you for having us. Yeah, I mean, it's basically a little bit about Stoner Tribe. So we are a tribe of, as you said, 9,420. We were a free mint. No secondary, no royalties, CCO. So anyone could use the art as they like. They're the owner of their NFTs and they could use it as they wish. We don't have a Discord. We don't have a website. We purposely didn't go for, we didn't want to do any hype. We didn't do any marketing, no promotion, no nothing. We just wanted no roadmap, right? We want to keep no expectations. This is for the love of the art. A project that we just wanted to have fun with, right? So the team right now is myself, which is myself. We got Drop Acid as our dev, so it's a very trusted, reputable dev.
No way, Drop Acid is your dev. All right,
Yeah.
all right. Stock up. I'm familiar with his work.
He doesn't miss. So that was a big one, right? Because a lot of like anonymous teams and everything, there's rug pulls or hacks or whatever. So we want to make sure we had one of the best devs out there, and that's Drop Acid. And then the artist is anonymous. The artist has done other projects. They are very, very talented as you can tell by the art. They're incredible. And yeah, we started this. What was it? Like, I think it was this weekend. We just decided, we're like, okay, let's just open it up for mint. We didn't have any expectations, didn't market, didn't promote it, didn't hype a Discord. So we thought it was going to take a while, maybe a week for it to mint out. And it minted out within like 45 minutes. So we're like very like shocked, and we're like, wow. And the community was very supportive. Everyone's like DMing us, everyone's supporting us. So we basically decided to, just go out and start this. And we're going to be doing the reveal tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific. So that's going to be very exciting.
We got that on a second. I was going to see if I can get that pinned up on the top there for everyone to have in the space. So the great reveal tomorrow, 5 o'clock Pacific Coast time. 5 o'clock Pacific Coast time is when that is going to be happening. Let's see if I can find it so I can pin it up there for everyone to see. That's awesome. Tell us a little bit more about the art. You guys just tried to make it just something cool and free for people to get their hands on, huh?
Yeah. So basically, it was easy. We wanted to make it a low barrier of entry. So, and
Hold on 1 second there, Stoner Tribe. Now your mic is glitching on us. Hold that thought for 1 second. But the minting that they did release out to the public was free, and that's what they wanted to do. And that's what I see is the collections that are the collection is done, uploaded, and ready to reveal tomorrow, 5 p.m. That was put out an hour ago. So you're getting the latest and greatest news from us right now. He's gonna bump back in so that we can get him talking about it. And knowing that a community is selling out at getting heavily distributed at 9,420 of them out there into their group. And then tomorrow, the great reveal, this time tomorrow, people are going to see, the different attributes and the different attribute classes, which is always like it's like opening presents, where you never know what you're going to get inside.
yeah. So sorry about that. We were having like some technical difficulties, but
You go for the talking. We were perfect. You're back on. We can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, so we basically, that, as you could tell, that's there's 10 one-of-ones that the artist developed. And basically the collection, we wanted to portray as many different cultures, everything behind it. It landed on Pride Month, which we were not planning on it, but we have a lot. If you scroll down, there's a few that you could see. There's a lot of you could see a rainbow on some of the backgrounds. You could see them on some of like their faces. They're like, that's another one-of-one, but
got the face painting there that he's talking about, the rainbow face painting on the cheeks. You got the 420 on the shirt. Got the Rasta shirt with the crossed joint, looks like, in the mouth. So this is funny. But you got the Pride shirt poking out right here that he was just talking about. Is where you're able to modify and you're able to modify and adjust to the different months right here, just like he was talking about before, where you're able to have a Pride shirt on the Stoner Tribe. There we go. And you're able to, like you're saying, oh, he's getting bounced in and out right now. There must be an alien in between the satellites and here down on Earth. But let's try the mic again. Let's try mic 1, 2. We were talking about the pride that you were able to put on the shirts, on some of the face paints on the different NFTs as well. If the mic doesn't work here, let's see if we can get you on Spaces. You can hop on Spaces as well if you want to listen in on Spaces. If you're listening on Spaces, you actually want to watch, you can just check on the pinned tweets up at top. We have the Stoner Tribes where they have the download tomorrow, or the upload, excuse me, for the reveal tomorrow. The other pinned tweet is there, as we just had Barry Sutton on with G'day Franz, the 96 Studios, is proudly sharing, a good friend all the way from across the equator. And then we have less than a week away with some with a new minting that's going to be out there from Spirit Bomb. That's at spiritbomb_.ai. Stoner Tribe. Let's see if the mic is in here. Let's see if we can get him in. He's requesting to come on. We're going to add him in as a co-host. Send him a co-host invite. You can invite up any friends that he wants. And that's the cool thing about what we could do with this. Luckily he's having. Here we go. Hey-o.
All right, let's do it. The third try.
Perfect. You know what? And that's awesome. We have a backup plan to the backup plan. And right now we're looking at the Stoner Tribe Pride shirt, sleeveless you're putting in here. Just perfect for this month and the holiday season. And then also the face paint. I saw there was one with face paint attributes as well.
There's a bunch of attributes like that. And we're basically, some of the things that the community has been asking us is what is our plan with everything. Obviously, as a team, we're trying to involve the community as much as possible. So one of our goals is to whatever step we decide to take, we want the community to be part of it. We don't want it to be like bottom. We want it to be bottom to top. So basically, we want the community to be part of the team and the team to be the community. We don't want the team to be like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to go do that, and everyone just follows. We want to be one, and we're taking a very different approach from most projects. And yeah, it's basically an experiment, so we'll see how it goes.
Looks like there, June 4th, you have the whale alert. Man, you guys must have been going bonkers, and time to celebrate. And then it was probably kind of time to like start thinking like, all right, well, what do we got to do? What do we got to approach here? How are we going to approach this? Because those are different aspects of all of it as well.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously we got to keep like everything active. We're working on some partnerships. We're working on a few different things, but we want to just keep it low key and see how everything goes. And we just want to involve the community. We're going to start hosting, after the reveal, we're going to start hosting daily Twitter spaces to get the community involved. We want to get the tribe together, you know?
And I know that you didn't really want to mention this, but I love this, and I've seen this on other projects, and the website. And I know you didn't want to mention the website, but I love it. There's no roadmap, no utility, just a tribe. But right now, the utility is what the community is making out of it. And that's the best thing about it. The story is not done being told just from here, you know? So like, I know how Drop Acid works. I know how well he's connected within the NFT space and community. And I know how he can technologically advance different NFTs. And that's what's really cool about it, is always looking into who is creating these next level things. And distribution is key. 727 owners. It's getting out there, and sales haven't even begun because that metadata is going to be released before this time tomorrow.
Yeah. Another reason behind all that is initially you were able to mint 20 per transaction. Since we didn't promote it, we weren't expecting the kind of like for it to sell within 45 minutes. So 20 per transaction, assuming it would have been like a slow mint. So there's a lot of people that minted a bunch, and then they're trying to obviously flip them, and then that's why the floor is low. But if you compare the ratio of the floor versus the total volume, it actually been pretty active. But the issue is that since people wanted to flip them for like $6 or whatever, it went lower. But we don't look at that as an issue, because for it to be $6 or $5 floor, we're not here for the money, right? So it doesn't affect us. For us, is to build. This is a low barrier of entry, so anyone that wants to buy an NFT right now at such low price, it makes it a lot easier rather than joining a higher floor price. So it makes it still pretty easy for people to join the tribe, and hopefully that keeps going, honestly, because we want to have as much people as possible.
And I see you're doing that while incorporating, and I believe is this Spanish-speaking spaces that you guys were involved with. What was it, yesterday? What was the date? Yesterday? So there again, NFTs as, language, a language breaker, because anyone can relate to art. Anyone can relate to NFTs. So NFTs is an international language in all of this. So tuning in tomorrow, I mean, you're going to have tons of people probably tweeting out, sharing what they minted, what they have. Then when that metadata gets revealed, that's the fun part of it, because then you're actually going to go in there and dive in and go through some of the attribute classes. Is there an attribute class that you're fancy to? If it's brains poking out, the cross joints, the bong head, is there an attribute class that you hope that you're able to mint? I'm sorry, that whole time I was talking and my mic was off. I feel bad there. Is there an attribute class that you are privy, that you're hoping that you can mint out of some of the ones that you have? If it's one attribute class or another, that's maybe that will be alpha for some people listening.
Hey, Hey, no, sorry. Can you repeat that?
Yeah. Is there any attribute classes that you hope that you can maybe that you get, or some attribute classes that you think will be cool when people are minting?
Okay, so some alpha for everyone. We on the Twitter we posted most of the one of ones, so they're very distinguishable from the rest of the collection. So people should keep their eye out if there's any out there, right? And they want to buy one. Other attributes that are probably on the rare side is that I could give everyone is some of the backgrounds. The backgrounds that they have a more distinct design rather than just one color. Those are going to be on the rarer side.
I see it now. That's pretty cool. So then, we'll be looking at the backgrounds. And that's all part of that art, is having that there. And sometimes it gets overlooked. It might be like an Easter egg, and then all of a sudden you look more into the metadata of it, and then you realize, hey, you know what? The background on something that you just have might be a little bit rarer than the other ones.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, we finished everything. We ran everything today. We initially were going to do the reveal today, but we wanted to push it because the artist wanted to tweak a few things because he wanted his art to be perfect, right? So we got to respect what the creator wants. And basically, we ran everything. Everything ran good today, and we're ready for tomorrow. They're ready and everything's set.
Man, that's pretty wicked. Next couple steps you guys have, let me know, so then we can get you guys on the stream, and then build this community like you guys are talking, because you guys are building that community rather fast, rather quickly. I mean, just a week ago, and then all of a sudden these things are distributed, and like you're saying, like people are selling them, but that's the distribution of it. That's people. It's thinning it out, but putting it into more wallets is what you want, because then people can tell the community what you want to build from it. If it's building a UFO for this alien right here, if it's passing it to the right hand side so the skull could do the laser eyes to go for it.
Yeah, no, definitely. And as I said, there is no incentive, like financial incentive for the team. So in that sense, what we're trying to do is actually grow the community and bring people into the tribe that are passionate about the art. So to us, like those numbers and the floor being super high and all that, there's a certain pros like for them to be on people's radar because the floor is higher. But to us, it's more about the community. We rather do quality over quantity. If that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. Otherwise, you read something different. Right now, it reads free mint. Well, those are gone. So good try on that. But the secondary fees, nope, nothing. But COO is yours. They got the Discord, not there yet. No utility, no roadmap, but it is yours to have fun with. And that's what you are going to do, have fun with Stoner Tribe, having fun with that. All right, my friends, we're going to wrap it up here on this Welcoming Wednesday. Anything else? What are the next steps for Stoner Tribe? People are going to be tuning in tomorrow, obviously, for the metadata release. And then just talk to the community. Be a good community member. See what happens within the growth of this community.
Yeah, next steps are just basically the reveal tomorrow, and then we'll be hosting daily Twitter spaces with the community so we can start building it out and get everyone involved. We've already had multiple DMs from community members that want to get involved, and we are welcoming every single one of them. So, yeah, it's going to be exciting to see how the tribe builds everything up.
Awesome. We'll build the tribe up. I try to build the tribe up as much as I can as well.
You're doing a great job.
Part of that tribe is getting in that Novoverse where you can get one of these AR filters that you're hearing right now. Barry, any good questions here, Barry?
Oh, hey, I just want to jump in because I added Adventure one of my boys from Admit One Discord, and just wondered if maybe had a question or just wanted to talk about anything.
No, hey, what's going on, guys? Yeah, I mean, I saw you guys like hanging out, and it was like a small little room, so I just wanted to pop in and say what's up. But it sounds like you guys are winding down.
Yeah, we're just jamming, man. You got a question for the Stoner Tribe, or a question for Barry? Yeah, man, we can jam.
Yeah, no, I mean, not really. I pushed, when this first started minting, like I pushed the info out. I think I dropped it in Admit One, and then also into like another alpha group I was in, is it was like minting out. I mean, for me, I accidentally hit the button twice. So I actually like have like four, like I just opened my wallet and had like 40 of them in there because I hit the mint twice. But you know, I'm just kind of sitting back and just watching, and you know,
Mike's breaking up a little bit there, but minty, you know, sometimes it happens. You get that mint button twice, and sometimes those are the parts of
kind of
the.
cool, you know, where things are at, and to do it is more like organically correct, like the growth, because you know, you guys are already minted out,
And that's what getting that community going. And it's like, you know, even if it is getting those extra mints in, double clicking, double tapping, getting those extra mints in, and then all of a sudden seeing the growth of that community organically growing, you know. And I get to see Stoner Tribe's DMs just absolutely blowing up in there, because sometimes it makes it very simple. Sometimes it's the easiest thing is just getting in there, no Discord, and just making it simple. Like, what are the next steps? Well, we'll let you know when those next steps occur.
Yeah, no, I mean, we appreciate all support, and honestly, yeah, as you said, like, because we're so open and everything's been in such a different styled mint, right? The only other one that's similar is Goblins, that didn't do like roadmap or whatever. They're doing very well. They have a great community, and yeah, we want to have such a good community as well. Yeah, I mean, our DMs are open. They are packed, but we're going through every single one of them, and we're welcoming everyone. So, like, feel free to DM us. We will get to your DM.
Welcome, all my aliens, apes, and zombies. How are you doing?
You guys can hear me better. I think I hit a bad spot, but yeah, I mean, I'm just watching. I'm actually kind of a fan of what's been going on lately, with more like starting out free and sort of, you know, working it from there than, you know, having like a high mint price and a roadmap. So, you know, I like where you guys are going with it. So yeah, I'm ready to see where this whole thing goes.
I follow the direction. I follow the directions of what the CryptoPunks did. Is they give it away for free in the beginning. If people like it, they build a community around it, and then it grows and grows from there.
Exactly. That's one of our main inspirations to this project was CryptoPunks, right? You can claim them for free. You were early on in CryptoPunks, and yeah, that's what we want to get to, right? It's claim it, let the community build itself. Look at CryptoPunks; they started a movement. Like some people forget or don't know, but the NFT market is what it is because of CryptoPunks, right? Like if you look at everything in every project, where did the 10,000 start from? CryptoPunks, right? Where did the pixelated like artwork started from? CryptoPunks. So like they are the pioneers of this industry, regardless of how people feel about Larva Labs or CryptoPunks, but they are the pioneers and they're great inspiration. So hopefully we amount to something like that in the future.
Alex, do you have any other questions? You know, either based on, you know, your man, it's awesome that you got in here and you're able to mint some the Stoner Tribe, and you know, actually being on the alpha list that gets minted out is kind of validating and special that you're in the right group, the right collection group, and hanging around the right people, which is always fun. And I've known what Drop Ass has been doing for a while now. I've been following his work and NFT projects. You want to go ahead, get the mic off. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was actually just gonna say that you know, I'm actually good friends with Tony Herrera, and that's actually where I found out about the project pretty early. Was actually through him, and then I sort of brought it into the communities that I'm in. You know, I think Tony's pretty close to your project, correct?
Oh
yeah. So yeah, so Tony has been an advisor to our project and many other projects. I don't know if you want, depending on the title advisor or not, but he's been helping us, obviously advising us. You could say officially, unofficially, however he prefers. But yeah, I mean, Tony has been always helpful to everyone in most projects. He's been very good to like the space. He's onboarded a ton of people. He's done a lot of good, and I think everyone recognizes his work. Funny that you say that on the admin one. I was gonna eventually, someone on the team was gonna post it on the admin one like this, because we weren't planning on promoting it much. It was just that, but unfortunately, clicked on a malicious link and it was stolen. So,
holy crap! Like the one ticket was stolen.
Yeah, if not, it would have been in that Discord. That would have been one of the first Discords going to post it in, because we only posted in like 4 or 5 Discords. It wasn't anything crazy.
I mean, I ended up posting. I saw Tony had minted and tweeted about it, and then I brought it in there. But I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah,
it's like pretty unfortunate.
It was very, very unfortunate. But at the end of the day, this is a lesson for everyone. Don't click on anything. Don't click on malicious links. Specifically for Toner Tribes, there is nothing. Don't click on any links. There's one Twitter and one OpenSea, which is linked to our Twitter, and vice versa. There's nothing else. We will never DM you. No one will ever DM you. So please don't click on anything.
That kind of makes it just easier on everyone. Like, I know NFT NYC is coming up, and I feel like I have to spend an hour clicking through through Discord to see like what are the announcements, what are this, what are that. And what I don't do is I'm never the first to click it. I always wait. I don't want to say let the pawns go first, like in a chess match, but like I'm not going to be the first to click that link. Like I want to make sure it's up and running and set up and done properly. And if I miss out because I'm not first to do it, then I'm not first to do it.
Yeah, I honestly learned from me. I lost an NFT worth $30,000 just from clicking from a malicious link and not reading things properly, and that was completely my fault. There's no one else to blame, and this is coming from someone that's been in the space for multiple years. So please be careful. Everyone, like even people that are very experienced, I know have been hacked. I know someone that's been in space for like 3 years and they got hacked like $2 million worth of their NFTs, and it just happens to everyone. And just please be careful. I just want to emphasize that to everyone.
Safety first. Stoner Tribes, thank you for that, because there's definitely words of wisdom there. That's just life experience, unfortunately. And back to Mr. Tony Herrera. I was his Padawan back in the day. He did tell me some of the tricks of the trade. I did get on Discord and have to ask the right questions about what a CryptoPunk is, different attribute classes, how to do different connections with Web3 in general. And he's always been there for people in this area, in this space. And, not only will he have a chapter in this Web3 book in the future, he'll have multiple chapters. So I think that's it, gentlemen, ladies, aliens, apes, and zombies. We have a whole bunch of other things that we can pull back in from the different conversations that we had this welcoming Wednesday. We're going to have these spirit bombs coming out real soon, where you're able to modify and create them very, similar to, what they're doing here in a lot of the popular video games. Barry, we're going to get you back on, and we're going to be talking about our Aussie friend for sure, all the way across from the other side of that hemisphere, and get some more NFT photography in there, because those pictures tell thousands of stories, and I always want to hear that oceanic sense. Puts me at ease looking at that. Having that Monday morning commute on the surfboard would just be awesome.
Thank you. Love to be back anytime, man.
Sweet. And then Stoner Tribes, and you're having your metadata revealed, 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. We'll see who's going to be getting those one-of-ones. And you never know. You know what? Maybe Alex will be getting one of those 101s. If that happens, we'll have to have you back on the show to talk about it.
I hope so. That'll be awesome. I hope the community gets all the 101s and everyone does really well. But thank you for having this.
Yes. Thank you for listening, Daft Crypto, and following Cordine.eth. You were listening there, Death Note as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. And there's a bunch of people that's watching on this live up above in the pinned tweets. All these spaces could be watched live and direct. You can also hop into the Novoverse. That's my Discord. You can get one of these AR filters in there. I'll never bug you or ask you for money. So if you need that AR filter, you just reach out to us. And then also here in Decentraland, you can play that NFT, get a Crypto Novo head here. I'll even put that up here. Free Novo head wearable. I'll send you a free Crypto Novo head. All right. Just hop in that Discord. That could be found in my Twitter bio. And in there, it says free Crypto Novo head. Pretty much all I need is your ETH address. So drop me your ETH address in a DM on Discord, and you'll get one of those free Crypto Novo heads. We're going to get some outro music. We're going to get on with this Welcoming Wednesday. And we're going to be back actually at it again Friday with Racing Punks. We're going to be racing Crypto Punks in cars. So check that out. But until then, stay positive and love life. Peace.